Good evening, traders. It's Mark here from the day trading room. It's currently 5 minutes past 9 London time on Monday, the 23rd of August. It's been a very interesting day on the Dow today. Close on the cash is about down minus 40, just waiting for the settle to come through. The futures are down 51. And before I run into the evening, let's just run through what happened this morning. But first of all, I just want to point out some of the lines, levels of interest that I've got on my chart. As always, we've got the overnight high here, 10250, overnight low, which coincided with a significant level of support and resistance yesterday, on Friday, should I say, 10188. And the orange is the open 10235, which is a gap up of about 30 points, and the dotted purples are levels of interest from overnight. If we just flick to an overnight chart, you can see here how the 10 to 13 level, really good support overnight. We did pop through it briefly, but we came straight back up. That was the channel run overnight, and the 10 to 33 to 35 level was the resistance. So they were put on my chart for today. And after I just bring in my 5 minute chart, I'll show you this premise I had this morning. I've been looking at this hatched area here as levels of rejection. Even though we'd been trading in it a couple of weeks ago, um, it has been rejected twice, almost in a mirror image. We've got this rejection, this rejection. We pushed straight through it on Thursday, but we didn't do it, hardly any trade in it, and we rejected it again in the evening. So basically, I was looking to see. I knew obviously that we were gapping up at some level, about 30 points. So I was looking to see how we would do if we did rally up to this level, and whether we reject there, or whether we even put a good bullish day in and start to push through. So that was my premise. I wanted to see how we were going to respond around this area, and of course that coincides with the 10 300 level on the cash. If I can bring this in to show you, hopefully you can see this. I'll just squeeze that up very quickly. There we go. There's a 10 minute, much better to see here. 10 300 level's been absolutely key. 10 200 not so key so far. And that's what I was looking for today, basically. So what did we get off in the morning? We rallied quite quite hard off the open, and on Monday mornings I like to sit back and wait and see what's going to happen. Obviously the range, this was yesterday's high, Friday's high, 10228, so the range fill trade wasn't really available. The gap fill trade was still on, so any push down here and a pullback I'd have been looking to get short, but we just pushed heavily up. And normal circumstances I'd be looking for this sort of pullback, and then I'd be straight back in, a little pullback in the ticks, and I'd be in on the long and looking for high targets. But in this case, Monday, I just thought I'd wait. Let's just see how far this pushes. Now this happens to coincide with that 10,300 level on the cash, and also that hatched area that I've shown you on my 5 minute. And so we'd rallied a good 50-60 points with one pullback. So we'd already had one pullback, great. So once I've seen one pullback, I can look for a further pullback. And as you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I like to use the tick index as a bit of a proxy for my trades. And sure enough, we got this spike in the tick, poked over 1,000, happened to coincide with this candle which poked us to 10,300 cash, don't forget, which is what I'm watching, the Dow cash. 10,300, took the short, and got the short 3 ticks from the top. Absolutely fantastic entry, and took no heat on it whatsoever, and we dropped straight down. Usual thing, scaled off at the plus 10, so that was my first scale, and then I decided to run the rest to see how much we get. We pushed through this VWAP. We got a low tick reading of under 0, and I took the last batch off here. So lovely, brilliant trade to start the week off, taking that full move. So I was feeling quite pleased with myself until I saw the market just curl over and really pick up steam to this downside here. But that's trading, I didn't anticipate that. I thought perhaps we'd get a push back up, a little push, back up towards the high, and then maybe I could have taken a a double top situation there, and I would have looked for a short then if we'd have probed the highs and failed. But we didn't get it, so all I can do is wait for the next trade. So that was the first trade. Great trade, lovely amount of points on that, and waiting for the next one. So as we push down here, we push through this low, which was the last low that we made in the morning, and we bounced right off that key 10213 level that I posted from overnight to the button. Bounced straight off it, and this is a sort of uptrend. This was the biggest pullback we'd had really for all morning. So I was now looking for it to curl over, but to be honest with you, I wasn't I wasn't that excited about it. I thought we perhaps would cycle back up to this area here. That was the level I was expecting. Perhaps a little bit more of a move, but we stayed in this downtrend. We started to curl over, and this candle here was the one that got me interested because it pushed down, pushed back up, and you know what? I said to myself, okay, I can take a short here. My stop is obviously going to be here because I don't want it here. I'd rather, if it goes to go here, then I can probably end up shorting up further up here for a bigger cycle. My stops here. The obvious exit for my trade is going to be the gap. That's a good risk reward. You know, it's a good risk reward. It's worth taking. So that's what I did. I took the short here, and sure enough, without much problem, we rolled over, and a beautiful trade. Just rolled straight over. I didn't even need to scale because I was about to scale off at about the plus 10, which was around this sort of level, but it was so close to the low. I just thought, let's just see if it can push through. My plus 10 was about here, so I thought if it just bounces back off, I'll still get my first scale out, so I'm still protecting and managing my risk. But as it happened, it just hammered straight through the low and literally came and filled this gap. So I didn't hang about. If I'm honest with you, I just said that thank you very much, it's a nice second trade, and took the whole lot off for 26 or 27 ticks. So that was a fantastic second trade for me. Really pleased with the way that worked. Again, no heat. No matter how experienced you are, it's always nice not to take heat. So that was it for that time. I then watched and waited, and I missed this. This was something that frustrated me slightly. This pop down here was an absolute perfect setup. It's one of the ones that I love to do. It's low tick -1,000, and sure enough, this coincided with 10,200 on the cash. So not only did we have a 100-point move with minimal pullbacks, we put the low tick reading in, we tagged it, I drew on the line in before. It was a lovely setup. An hour and a half into the trade, perfect setup, and anyone who took that was rewarded with a very quick bounce. Don't forget that's the cash level, not the futures. It was 10,174. They were rewarded with a very quick bounce, and it popped up pretty much 25 points with no heat straight back to this trend line here. So that was good for anyone who took it. Bit annoyed I didn't take it, but anyway, as we rolled over, we started to tag, and I thought, okay, that's the biggest pullback we've had. This distance here is bigger than this distance here, so it's telling me there are some buyers, and the volume was starting to dwindle down. So it was double bottom territory for me. We came here, we put in this spike, and I took my long here, and the obvious stop was just under that low, so pretty minimal risk really. The ticks didn't go to a new low, the volume was dying down, it looked good for a cycle back up. I didn't really have a firm target. I was looking to do my usual thing, take some off at plus 10, which is what I did. I got some away at plus 10, and then I was looking for perhaps a move back up over this gap, maybe back up to this 10,213 level. I drew a little temporary trend line here and just thought, well, as long as that holds, I'll just stay with the last batch. It didn't hold, it broke, and I took the last bit out here. So that was the third trade of the day. Not a bad little trade, nothing exciting, but puts profit in the account, which is what we want. So very quickly, as we're running out of time, let's just run through what happened the rest of the day. Chopped around as you'd expect, nothing much happened. We bounced off this level a few times. It was just little trend lines, and I just stayed clear of the whole thing really. And I was done for the day. And actually, I was starting to do the video, at about just after 8 o'clock. It was just after 20 past 8. It was. Excuse me. We had this little head fake up, which had popped up and then and came down. It just caught my eye as I was doing the video. We got to about this situation, and I thought, okay, they've head faked this up. Let's just see if this picks up steam. And when we broke this level here, I stopped the video and looked a little bit closely at the tape. Because we'd head faked up, we'd sucked in a few more longs in this period, and as we'd rolled back down, there's a lot of disappointment there. And what got me excited even more on the short side was this issue now of these low ticks. We're getting this continuous at the point now. It was this time here, these low ticks, we were getting the low ticks, low ticks, low ticks, low ticks. I thought, okay, let's just see. So we popped to here, we popped straight back up. This little level here, I'll just get my pen back out. We popped straight back up. I stopped the video about 83, popped back up and thought, as we just curled down here, took the short. The volume was still there. It was picking up in volume, which is what you want to see. We didn't have long to the close. I was looking, basically my risk was going to be up here. I was going to not give it much room. If it started to push straight back up with any volume, I would have probably scaled out most of it. But as it didn't, we pushed straight back down, did my usual thing. I took it out at plus 10, so that was my first scale, and then I decided to leave the last right until the close. I thought, well, let's just leave a runner. I'll just trail a stop down with it, just keep it above these highs, and I wait till the cash close. So the cash close was here, and that was my last exit, which was a fantastic. What was my entry? 24 points on the last exits, 24 ticks. So there's a little bit more there just for the futures close, but I always close on the cash. So a great ends. Four trades today, all profitable, all great little trades. Summer trade has been quite good at the moment. There's been a lot of good action, but you've got to pick your spots carefully. I think the key to the market at the moment is to draw your levels in. Get your 5 minute chart, get your 10 minute chart, draw your levels, understand where the market has been rejected, get your trend lines in, try and get in tune with what's going on. Not to chase too much stuff. If you're chasing anything, just wait for that little tiny pullback just to get the confirmation, and then look for that volume. You need that volume with the summer trade to get on the end and get some meat out of the trades. When there's no volume, you really got to be careful, because it can come out of anywhere and just go one way or another. If you've got the volume, you've got continued move, then you're okay to take the trade, as long as you manage your risk. So hope you guys had a great day today. If you didn't, I hope you at least managed your risk and you didn't get caught back too badly. Tomorrow's another day. Spend an hour tonight or so looking over your levels, mark your levels for tomorrow, and come in with a completely fresh look at the market. As usual, email me at mark@thedaytradingroom.co.uk or visit the forum www.thedaytradingroom.com to ask me any questions.